Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I will show you how to create a sidebar menu using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And this is how it looks in a large screen. Here you have a sidebar menu, social media icon, and in a small screen, it looks like this. And it push the contact form below. When it's green, it became smaller, and when the screen becomes larger, it automatically jump up in the main content. So this is how it looks. Main content, sidebar menu, we have a toggle bar and we have a cross to close it. So let's get started. Create a folder and name sidebar, and open using text editor. Call it sidebar. Sidebar, create file, call it index.html. And here write HTML:5. Here we have the basic structure of HTML. Change the title into sidebar menu. And here you got your browsing name, sidebar, and IP address. In the body, I want header. And the header, call it sidebar as well, with form. I want to add a form on the main content. In the main, create class called nav, and this class have a name sidebar. I want to add ID as well, and ID, call it also my sidebar. In the nav, create a section, and this section have a class, call it sidebar heading or header. Give a title to the navigation bar, call it menu. And we need to have a toggle button here. We need to create a toggle button, call it div class toggle button. In the toggle button, I want to add cross when it's open to close it. So call it span, and this is span class called close button. Using font awesome, we can add X. Below, we need to add a hamburger in 3 lines in order to show. Let's call it div class hamburger. Now in here we need to add 3 bars, dot bar, and we need to have 3. You can add more if you will. Now we have a 3 bars. We have close button hamburger, and next we need to add navigation link. And right below the section, 5 links. Let's make it 4. This is, call it home, call it services. For this, call it about, and gives contact. Now I have 4 links, and I need to add social media icon right below here. Call it social media icon, social icon. To add social media icon, I want also 4 links times 4. For this, I will use font awesome link in order to add the icon. And here you have the icon. Just type the icon that you want to add, and copy the type of icon that you want to use. Now we have the links: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. And in order to show, in order to make the links appear, we need to add font awesome link on the top heading section. And I will put the link on the description below as well. Now we have social media icon, we have 4 links, navigation links we have. Now let's go down and add form section. And in the form section, let's call it section. And this is a form container, the class name. Here I need to have a form, and the form is class, call it form as well. And inside the form, I want to add heading, and this heading is have a class, call it heading, and call it contact. And right below I want to have a 3 input, and this input I want to add placeholder for it. This placeholder, call it this placeholder to have a name, and the type is text class, call it input. And another input type, another input for email, let's call it placeholder, and this is for email, and add the class as well, call it input, the same input. Now I want to add text area, and as well add placeholder called write your message. The name is message, and add ID of message as well, 1s to 2s. Let's add the class name, and class name is text area. And now let's add button, and this is a div, let's call it button container. And this button container to have this class, call it send button, and call it send. And the last, let's add footer, and in the footer I want to add copyright. Now that's all I want in the main content. Remember to link the CSS style, and let's go to create CSS in order to customize our page. Style.css. Let's start by HTML, and in HTML I want background image to be gradient, and the background image to be semi-transparent, so I add linear gradient, and I want to have like 90 degree of different colors, RGB, and this RGB take 255. This is a color code that you can use different colors, and I'm using here 2 different colors to make it, and the second one is RGBA, which also take 255, 190, and 255. A slightly different background. So in that case we need, as you see here, it is double up, so we need to remove this by setting the background position, and background position is center, and background size, we need to have the background size as cover, so add background repeat, say no repeat, and it will be no repetition. Now we have only one color. Let's go to body, and the body I want font family, it is Arial sans serif. I want margin 0, and reset default margin, and to be padding as well to be 0, and I want transition, the background, and this transition, add a smooth transition effect, background change, so I want to add background 0.5 second, and it be ease. Header, and in the header I want a display flex. This is to flex layout, which is a powerful layout tool to aligning item, call it flex. And I want justify content, horizontally in the heading, so I want it to be center. I want to add the background color to be this color code 002733. And that we need to change the color, so let's choose white and text transform on the uppercase. Now let's go to main. In the main, I want to display grid template columns. You know, the sidebar to have 250 pixel and 1 fraction for the rest of the content. So we add 200 pixel and 1 fraction. Now you see it's moved to the right direction, the main content. Let's target the sidebar, and it is class. Let's say sidebar. And this sidebar, I want padding 20 pixel. You know, to hide horizontal overflow, ensuring the horizontal scroller appear. So say overflow, make it hidden. So let's show box shadow and say none. I don't want box shadow. So, and width, I want it to be 0. Initially set the sidebar with 0 to be hidden, and when we press the hamburger button, it will appear. So say 0. And I want to add background color to the sidebar, and in that I use RGB 0.8, which is apply semi-transparent background on the side. Now in this, I want to add a smooth transition for properties as well. So let's say transition background color, and here say 0.5 second ease, and let's say width also give it to 0.5 second ease. Box shadow, add box shadow also 0.5 second ease, and add transform 0.5 second ease as well. Sidebar open. Now let's add width to be 250 pixel as we add it in the main, and add box shadow to have 2 pixel, 0 and 5 pixel, and the color should be 0, 0, 0, 0.5. Shadow the right side of the sidebar only. Now let's add the heading of the sidebar, and this is in the open, so H2 we call it, to have a transform, and this transform translate 0, you know, the y-axis. So reset the vertical transform translation to default, so we make it 0, and add opacity, make the fully visible, make it 1. Now let's jump to make it hover for the sidebar, only the links. Make it hover. In the hover, I want to have background color, so RGB, and it is 0, 0, 0, 0.9, you know, darker than the sidebar color. Now I want this slightly upward shift for the raised effect, and for that we do the transform, and this translate y-axis 0.05 pixel, slightly move to the right. Style the link, so in that we say sidebar dot open, and then target the links. So let's take it a little bit up in order to be seen, and these links I want transform, also translate x-axis in this case, and this transform 0. I want opacity to be, you know, make the links fully visible. I want to add 1, and I want to add transition and this transition to have transform 0.5 second ease, as well opacity to have 0.5 second ease. Smooth transition for the properties. And now let's add transition delay. Transition delay to have 0.3 second. And now let's target the content. And the content to display flex. And flex direction to have a column. And a line item to be center. And justify content as well to be center. Add padding 16 pixel. Z index to have a 1. And background color to be white. Now let's target the social media icon, and it is a class. Let's call it social media. Let's call social icon. So in social media I want padding, C frame, display flex, and justify content to be spaced around. Now let's target hamburger, and in the hamburger I want position to be absolute, top to be 90 pixel, and left to be 40 pixel. Play flex, flex direction to be column, justify content to be space between. Now let's give width to have 30 pixel and height to be 20, and cursor to be pointer. In order to ensure that the icon is above element, we add Z index, and it will take 2. Now let's go and add spam in the main on the links. So the first one is add a spam here between the home here in order to add the icon. So let's call it spam, and here I want to add home button. You can copy this using we did with social media. You can add it from Font Awesome, and for the services as well, let's call it spam about as well, and for the contact, and add different icons. Depend on your choice. Now let's customize this using CSS. Add bar, and it is class. The bar to have width, let's call it 100%. Height to have 4 pixel, and give background color to have this color code. Let's add border radius to be a slightly rounded corner, so give it only 2 pixels. Sidebar, links, and spam, and this is spam. Add margin in right to have 10 pixels. Dot sidebar, and display flex, justify content, space between, and a line item to be center. Add padding inside the sidebar header, so we need top and down 0, right left 15 pixel. And now let's go to close button, and this close button is, let's say, font size 24 pixel, and cursor, add it pointer, and add the display none. To close the button is not displayed by default, so let's add the color to be white. Add sidebar dot open, close button, display block will be shown when it's closed or opened. Now let's dot form container, customize the container form container. So we call it dot form container and it is class. Let's add padding, give it to 30 pixel. I want to add border left and give it border. I want to add border left and to be 5 pixel solid, and to have color FF7A01. Dot heading, and it is class. Display block, font size to be 1.5 rem, and font weight to have 800, and margin bottom to be 20. Form container dot form dot input. So add a color to have color to be white, and width 60%. Add the background color to be RGBA, and I want it to be 0, 0, 0, 0.7. Now let's see. Good. Border, let's say none. Outline also none, and add padding to be 15 pixel. Margin bottom to be 20 pixel. Space below input field. Now let's add font size, make it 18 pixel. Add transition, and the transition, all of it, and say all 0.2 second. Ease in and out. I want to add border left. Let's say border left 2 pixel solid, transparent. Now let's say form container dot form dot input, and this is to have a focus. Border left 5 pixel solid, and color code is the same. Now dot form container dot form, and here now we need to customize the text area, and the text area width add 60% as well. 60% padding, 15 pixel. Say border none, outline none, and background color to be the same, and in that case we RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.7, and add the color to be white as well, and give it font size to be 20 pixel. And here I want to resize, disable the ability to resize the text area, so none. Height to be 150 pixel, and margin bottom to have 20 pixel. And here also border left to have 2 pixel solid, transparent. Add the transition, so, and this transition to have all 0.2 per second. Ease in and out. Now let's form container dot form dot text area, give it to focus, to have border left. Five pixel solid and the same color as we choose it in the input field. Now form container dot form dot button, we need to customize the button of send container, call it, and in this I choose display flex dot form container dot form dot button container dot send button. Let's add background, add this color, and add padding to be 15 pixel, color to be black, font size to be 20 pixel, text align center, font weight to be bold, add border 1 pixel solid, transparent. The resolution to be the same as the rest of item, copy paste. Now let's add the footer, and the footer display flex, justify content to be center, background color to have the same color as the header, and change text color to be white, font size 20 pixel, padding give it to 16 pixel, and text transform to be uppercase as well. Now let's add the sidebar, and this does to organize this dot sidebar, and in the sidebar we target the links, and we add padding at 10 pixel from top and down and 15 from left and right. Now let's text decoration, say none, and font size give it to 20 pixel, and color to be white, and display block, and add transition to 0.3 second, transform to translate x-axis, and this is minus in order to initially position minus 20 pixel left on their starting location, and opacity to be 0. Now let's resize the heading and main content to be full width. So here I need to add h1, and let's change the sidebar, give it height, let's give width also the same, now let's give hover to send button. Just copy this and hover, and in this hover I want background to be transparent, I want border color to have 2 pixel solid with the same color of the background. The color of the text should be the same. Now let's go to JavaScript in order to make this functional. Create script.js. And now remember to place the JavaScript file at the bottom of the HTML. We start by document dot add event listener. Choose a DOM content, add function, and here we need to get element by ID. We call it sidebar equal to document dot get element by ID, and here we need to give the ID name, and in our case we have in HTML the ID called my sidebar. So give my sidebar, and we target query selector, and here we need to call form container. The form container is document.query selector, and in this query selector we need to select the form dot the class name form container, and here we need to target the toggle button. And this document get query selector as well, and this query selector will get the toggle button, also its class, and the next one is for hamburger. And this is equal to document dot query selector, and class name is hamburger. Start by toggle button dot add event listener, and it is on click, and choose a function. First start by sidebar, and this sidebar dot class all the list dot toggle, and here we choose open, and we need to open on click, and the next one is the hamburger. Choose hamburger dot class list dot toggle, and this to be active on click. This class is to add a class to move the form down. So form container dot class list, and this class list also dot toggle, let's say down. Now let's test it and see. Now it's working, but I want this B minus to be disappeared, totally disappear. So in that case we need to target CSS. Now let's say overflow /x. So this is padding top, and now here we go, we have our hamburger, and this is X to cross it, and now we have hover to our content. Let's change this color, the menu color to be wide as well. Let's call it dot sidebar h2 color, call it white, text align center, margin bottom to have 20 pixel, and transform translate y-axis minus 20 pixel and opacity 0, and transition all 0.5 second is now. As you see, the page is not responsive, so let's add media query. And in order to make this sidebar 100% in a smaller screen, and push this main content below. So in that case, we just go to right below the footer and add media query. The media query, you need to specify the width of, need to make the width of the screen. So I'm choosing here max width to be 768 pixel. I start by main. I want main to be one column, and that we choose grid template column to be one fraction, and add the sidebar dot open, and this to be width 100%, the hamburger, position to be absolute, top to be 6 rem, and left to be auto, and I want transform none. The header, I want the header to be text align center. Now add social media icon. I want position to be fixed, bottom to be 10 pixel, and I want left to be 50%, and transform translate into x-axis 50% minus. And now for the form content, dot form dot input, all of it, width 100%, padding, less padding on the smaller screen, so give it to 10 pixel. And now for the text area, we add content form container, and it is inside the form, and dot text area. So in this text area also width is to be 100% and padding to be the same, 10 pixel. For the button, dot form container, and it is in the form, is button dot container to have width to have 100%, padding to be 10 pixel. Now let's test. Now we have it fully responsive. When it is above 768, it automatically form content jump up, and our side menu is fully. So you have full responsive page. Now let's add a few things here. I want to target social media icon, and target the link. And for this, I want color to be white, and I want font size. I want font size to be 20 pixel. Transition as well, and this transition to be color, and 0.3 second to be ease. And now let's target the hover. Let's make it hover to the social media and call it social media icon. Target the link, colon, hover. Just take it up, could be seen. And here I want color to be slightly blue, 6DD5FA. This to have border radius to be 50%. And in this you can target each of this social media icon and color it as it is colored. So but we are not doing that right now. And now let's add border here. This is solid. Now we have a line right before the sidebar. That's it. This is the final version of our page. Sidebar with its content, we have header, and we have footer and contact form in the main page. This is how it looks in a small screen. 100% in the sidebar, and push down the contact form. That is all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumb up, and if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to my channel. Until next time, happy coding.